I was looking through the list, dude. It does actually look really crispy. It's nice.
It does. It does seem good. You know, the one thing that I'm worried about with Agatha's Cauldron is that, you know, in CDH games, you don't actually see a lot of creatures hit the graveyard. And if they do, only briefly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's there for like that moment that you absolutely need it. Like exiling a card, you know, when someone goes for that Underworld Breach line is like monumental. They can't react to your... Basically, they can't react to your activation if you're exiling like the LED or like the Brain Freeze. So,
can you hit any card or
any card?
Oh yeah, dude, it's 100% worth. Like just holding that over people's heads stops multiple combos. Stops Breach, stops World Gorger, stops Gorian,
stops a lot of dockside loops.
Just general like value reanimation. It fucks with Atlas's Kenrith type of list. You know, it does a lot of weird stuff. Here we go. Welcome to the Moxstars podcast, everybody. Yeah, that's right. I'm introing it. Evan's dead. It's just me and Chris now.
I'm so dead.
Evan died. That's big news.
That is big news. We were in Vegas. He got too drunk and he died. Turns out alcohol is still poison. Well, as I don't usually do this, I am at a loss of words right now. But because Evan's dead, we're going to power through it.
Pass it to the dead guy. Pass it to the dead guy.
Nope. He's dead, and we won't refer to him for the rest of the episode. But what is really important is that we are the Moxstars, and we're here today to talk about our epic trip to Vegas. Chris, how are you doing today? That's fantastic, dude. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that we have a link tree to everything that is important about the Moxstars so you can follow us. Our socials are there. You can join us on Discord where we're brewing with our buds. That's right. The Brew Buddies tab is popping off. We talked about like 3 different decks today. And then on top of that, we have a Patreon where you can support us at a $3 tier, classic Pepperhead channel. If you're Pepperhead, you already get it. Don't need to talk about it anymore. But exciting news, we have a $35 tier where we have new mats, and I swear to Christ, y'all, these are the best mats I've ever seen. They are gorgeous. The color is crazy. Evan, don't you agree? Just kidding. He's dead. We can't hear from him. Other than that, everything else on the socials is our, you can find our podcast at all the major platforms. Make sure to give us 5 stars. Hit us up on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff on Twitch coming up here. Anyway, y'all, I digress. We are talking about our epic trip to Vegas. How did it go for you? Did you have a good time?
I'm a dead guy.
Yeah. Me?
No. I was obviously talking to Chris. Chris,
Evan's still canonically dead in this situation.
I think so. Chris, did you have a good trip in Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, besides, Evan
losing
dying,
a third of the podcast.
It's yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of like a speed bump thing.
Yeah, I mean, that happened really early on, and it was actually shocking how quickly we were able to come back from it. We weren't letting the Elijah Wood thing, be tainted by such negative news.
You guys just cue me in whenever.
I'm sorry, what?
Just cue me.
Are you hearing that, Jordan?
It's just it must be like an old episode or something coming through the channels or whatever. Well, anyway, yeah. So on Friday, I can't keep this bit up. Evan, what happened on Friday?
Well, before we even get to Friday, we landed in Vegas on Thursday.
Oh, right, fair enough. We did have some spice.
Yeah. Jordan landed way earlier than everybody else.
Oh my God, so much. I spent $200 on lifts before you guys even showed up.
Yeah, it was unreal. And then I came to meet with you, and then we were waiting. And then eventually, Ritter, you and your wife landed. Denise, who is, we're so thankful to Denise and you, Ritter, as well for getting those hotel rooms secured for us. That was like a huge clutch move.
Shout out D-Rock.
The entire weekend.
Pitching new nickname for Denise.
D-Rock. Sure.
D-Rock.
Yeah. Oh, she'll love that.
Yeah.
I'll let her know.
Well, you and D-Rock landed, and then Jordan and I came to the Encore where we were staying, and we went up to the hotel room, got snuggled in and stuff like that, and we got to see the freaking sphere from the hotel room.
That was actually crazy.
Yeah, that thing is like, if you haven't seen that, plan a trip to Vegas and go see it. That thing's like so cool. It's so insane.
The only ad I saw on it the entire time was one that was worth it for me. And it was Mortal Kombat. It was the new Mortal Kombat game, so it was pretty sick seeing Sub-Zero and stuff.
But that night, we actually went down to the lobby bar. This is like, for me, so important, and it's such a cool part.
This is why we had to go back to Thursday. You weren't willing to skip this.
I was not willing to skip this. We wwent down to the lobby bar to have a drink, just to like chill out, and they had some Glenmorangie 10-year whiskey. It was great.
It's clean.
It was clean. It was real good.
It was real good.
And Jordan's sitting there. My back is to this person, and Jordan points. He didn't point. He just says, "That guy looks a lot like Russell Westbrook." And then my head whips around and I look, and it like takes a second for me to like register it too, because he looked a lot like Russell Westbrook. And then I look back and I go, because that is what Russell Westbrook
looks too much like him.
Yeah, too much like him, right? And so I look back, and then all of a sudden we're like digging on our phones through like stats, and we're like, oh, he's like one of the top 10 players of all time in the NBA.
When he says we means him. I wasn't.
Oh no, D-Rock and Ritter were.
Oh, okay, yeah, I zoned out.
Number 1 all time in triple doubles.
Number 1 all time in triple doubles. Isn't that Ice Cube?
He had 1 on a good day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so probably more than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were just sitting there for a sec, and then I turned around, and because we were like, I can't believe that's Russell Westbrook, and so I turned and I go, "Hey, yo, Russ!" Like I just said it out of nowhere, and his whole like him and 2 other dudes, their heads just snap and look over.
The security's about to eat you for fucking breakfast.
And I just like give them the deuces, like, "What's up?" And they all give me the nod, and they're like, "What's up?" And then I was like, "Cool." And that was the entire interaction until we left. And then we enjoyed our drinks, had a good time, chatting it up, whatever. We get up. Everybody else goes the efficient route out of the bar. I go around the table to the other side, towards Russell Westbrook. And I go, "Hey, Russ, just so you know, you're a legend, man." And he says, "Thanks." And I said, "Have a good night." And he's like, "You too." And then I walked away. And that's
I think you should have bothered him more.
Yeah. You should have like, "Can I sit down?" There's some seats available.
I've been like, "Can I buy you guys a drink?"
Don't ask if you can sit down. Just sit right
just do it.
Just sit.
That's the thing they hate is trepidation. You got to come in all confidence.
I am a huge sports guy, so that was a big moment for the entire trip. It was great. Really cool moment, actually. And then we went back to the room, and here comes Friday. Friday happens. It is the first day of MagicCon in Las Vegas. We had a busy schedule.
Yeah, it was a super busy week.
We got up like super early. Was like 8 a.m. Got up, got ready, and walked over to the convention center where they're handing out badges at 8 a.m. or at 8:30 was the start time, and it was like from all directions, people in different, like no one was walking in a line or anything. It was everyone just congregating from the universe to the Las Vegas Convention Center. It was you could tell when we were getting close to a Magic convention. Playmat rolls, like you could see people with quivers and
cargo
stuff like
shorts, sneakers, gray t-shirt. You know the look.
Yeah, it was. You know the look for sure.
Big old backpack.
Yep. You could hear the dice shaking in one guy's bag on our way in.
The cacophony of dice in everybody's bags.
Yes. And so we get there, we get in line to like get our badges. Turns out when you're a content creator, you go to a different line to get your swag bag.
Humble brag.
What up? Hey, if you didn't know this, we were actually official content creators.
If you didn't know this and you listen to our content, we're content creators.
Hey!
Crazy.
But we were official. And that's what matters.
A fish.
So we get our stuff, and then we go get in line to get our loot from the thing. And we meet a really cool dude by the name of Landon who was wearing a Dr. Pepper shirt, just publicly professing his love.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we got a Pepperhead in public.
Yeah, IRL Pepperhead.
And the whole reason that started the conversation was before we went to the convention, we had to stop at Walgreens and get a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper for our table display.
Yeah, we had the meet and greet just like an hour later. And who would have thought that $4 worth of Dr. Pepper would have gone to so much goddamn attention?
It was, so we got in line, we meet Landon, total chiller. I hope he's listening to this.
Mega G.
Yeah, Landon, it was so great meeting you and hanging out, and welcome to the Pepperhead crew. So we end up having this meet and greet scheduled at noon. We get our table set up, which, by the way, we had the best table.
Oh, 100%.
There's like no doubting that at all. We had our play mats there. We had stickers there. We had like two. So the night before, Jordan and I went to FedEx to like print off these flyers, basically these banners with like QR codes and stuff on them.
Worth the $50.
We had to spend $50 on those stupid little plastic acrylic stands so you can just display a piece of paper.
God, yeah.
It was insane. But they made our table look super official.
Yeah, we had mat, we had all that stuff because of our new merch coming out. Check out the Patreon for the new mat. Only ends this month.
Yep. And we also had these really cool can caps, which people absolutely loved, by Cora Labs. They're like these little doodads that fit perfectly on top of a can and sort of like seal it so that if you were to spill it on your playmat, it's like a one-time save. So if it spills over, it saves your card, saves your playmat, and then you pick it back up and just make sure you take the lid off and reset it before you put it back up there. But yeah, it was a really cool little knickknack to have our names printed on too.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Ritter, you were just giving them away.
Well, I that's what swag is, right?
Yeah,
It's
100%.
I hope
stuff.
We gave away great swag, by the way. We gave away those can caps. We gave away a couple mats, tons of stickies. We actually ended up getting like almost a full booster box worth of packs.
Yeah.
And we were like, what are we supposed to do with these? Give these out to people? And they're like, if you want, sure. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Huge shout to Diana, who was there like organizing the entire content creator area. She was super chill, like came around. We got to meet so many cool people in that, like just in that little area, especially on Friday. I think that everyone was just excited to get to the convention. We got to meet Z main character, who was cosplaying as Massacre Girl.
Yeah, that was an awesome cosplay.
Yeah.
That was sick.
It was amazing. And
Tons of great cosplay there. We also, at the same time at that table, we met the Ashiok, who was just like insane Ashiok.
oh, it was
oh my goodness. Like I was having a conversation with a person and like their eyes just went dead, like to what I was saying, because they were right behind me and they weren't focusing at all. And then the Sir Ginger also was so sweet.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that must
Sir
have,
Ginger was rad.
dude, that
Yeah.
must have been, I was looking at the pictures, that must have been a homemade costume. Like where else are you going to find this costume in time?
I thought they were official. I thought like Wizards of the Coast just paid somebody to run around in this.
And like, here's our suit. Like,
No. That person competed in the cosplay.
yeah, I think
competition.
she like actually made that thing.
Yeah.
Which like, holy crap. Because it looked good. It didn't look like she made it because it was like janky. It was clean.
And she circles back to later on in the story too. We run right back into Sir Ginger later on in the convention.
Oh yeah, after karaoke. That's
Yeah.
rad.
Yep. But yeah, meeting Z was great. And then all the people we've looked up to for years were just hanging out right there. The guys from Mental Misplay.
Yeah, Alan.
Sheesh.
Alan, there's tons of people there. Power Dragon. Chris is a huge Power Dragon fan. Back from his old standard days. Yeah, he was right next to us.
Yeah, when we were we from 12 to 1 we hosted our meet and greet, which went great. We met people like Mike and Landon swung by, and Logan stopped by again. I played against him in Moscow. Huge shout out. And after the meet and greet, which by the way went super well because we had the best table of all time, and we had a table reserved for us as well to like jam some games with people. So we went out for 2 hours between the meet and greet and jamming games. Jordan found us a vendor, and what happened, dude?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was going crazy. All the vendors were insane, like trying to like outbid each other on like buy lists and stuff like that. So I went to sell like a few cards, and I ended up just like being like, make me an offer on this binder, bro. And it was like my whole binder, like my whole collection was in that binder.
Yeah.
And I got a big old chunk of change, paid me out in cash, and I was like, Geej,
Peace.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't know. We've been playing in proxy for so long at this point. Like, I like collecting stuff, but I don't need to collect those cards that I need to make a deck together. And like, I actually don't want to. I don't want that to be making my decisions like for where my collecting money is going, because a lot of times it's not necessarily like, you know, for like the new Force of Will and like Deflecting Swat, I was like, yes, that came out, and like finally I get to add 2 more foils to this deck. But it's like, I don't really feel like spending $200 on those 2 cards right now, and there's so many other things I'd rather buy.
Yeah.
Like, and Pokemon is just way cheaper, so it just your money goes way further.
Right. We learned a very important lesson on Sunday, but it tailors back to Friday, is that if you want to sell something or you want to buy something at the convention, buy it on Friday and buy it as early as you
for
can.
sure. You're not going to get better deals on Sunday. It's just not happening.
It's true.
It's not going to be there anyway.
You're going to get punished for waiting.
I didn't really think about it, so shout out to me for just being impulsive.
Shout out, dude.
My impulsiveness just worked out this one time.
Right.
So that was pretty sick. And then we ended up going back and just jamming some games with some homies. What was that guy's name?
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, we ended up
Mike
playing
in
some
Texas.
Yeah, the thing is, we both bought pre-con decks. Be like, I don't want to like pop stomp. Like, let's have something like some Spectrum kind of stuff. And then we showed up, and Mike was just like playing pure gas. Like, it wasn't full CDH, but he was just like super optimized, strong decks, and he was playing really smartly. So like, we ended up only playing CDH games technically.
Yeah, I think that's like the big distinction there. You don't like any deck can be a CDH deck. You make the right play at the right time, right? You holster your mana, make the plays appropriately. But like you said, his decks were fine tuned to the point where like he could scale up or down based on
exactly.
So
it was great. We ended up having like a couple like great competitive games. I would say the first one was better than the second one. There were so many stacks pieces out of the point. Like Landon was standing there just like, yeah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't do that. But
I mean, at one point we fired off 2 or 3 free spells.
3 spells into Boromir, where it's just like I just wanted to die after that.
Which you can do.
Which you fully are welcome to do so.
Yeah, I was like, I was waiting for Mike to cast Ulamog so that he would target 2 things, and I had a holstering and a deflecting slot, and so I go to cast it, and Thank God Landon was there to like sort of like semi-judge these games, but he goes, "Oh yeah, you can't do that. Boromir's there," and so I attempt to I'm like, "Oh, rewind, I'll pick it back up," and then I go, "No, I already
it counters it.
Did it, yeah. Oops." So I just threw it in my graveyard.
Yeah, I mean it feels stupid doing that. But it feels so much more stupid when you pass the turn and then on my turn I do that, because I tried to do something that I went to cast a Force of Will that I immediately just put into the graveyard.
Yeah.
Being the second definitely feels worse.
But then Mike...
Yeah, it's really good in CDH apparently? Countering 0-cost counter spells.
Yeah, I mean, Lavinia is just a great effect that we just don't see a lot of because of the color restrictions.
Yeah, and then what was really cool is Mike told us a little bit of his story about how his LGS closed down, and Ritter, you were just like, I think you remember more details than I do about it, but he said,
I guess the LGS in his area, I forget where in Texas it is, closed down, and just he set it up at his house in his basement, a pod of 20 or 30 people. He just made space for it in his home.
That's what you get in Texas with $100,000. You're living in a mansion.
Yeah, it's so cool. So we finish up playing gameplay at our through our scheduled time, and there's so much convention to see and do. We didn't realize how big it was. But
yeah, I mean, there's a whole grand championships.
The world championships.
World championships. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So we meandered upstairs, and there was the whole artist alley was huge.
Yeah, it was rad.
Super famous artists. And then we actually met the artist of Lion's Eye Diamond on the floor, as we were entering the convention. Did
you just hear that?
I did hear that.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, edit it out. I turned off my audio for the Discord, but that one just went through because it was off.
Okay. We actually met the artist for Lion's Eye Diamond on the floor when we were entering the convention. So,
Margaret Organ King.
Yes,
by the way.
There we go. And so there were just famous people throughout the Magic community just floating around the convention, which was so cool to see. And just if you happen to catch up with them, there was one point where I saw Dylan and Cam from Play to Win after stepping out of the cafeteria grabbing a drink, and I was like, if I don't say something to them now, I'm never gonna see them again. And so I literally ran up and I was just like, oh my god, you're Dylan and Cam.
Super chill about it.
And
you did end up jamming games with them, right?
Yeah, on Sunday. But I was just like, you guys are it's like looking at celebrities right now. You guys, I'm so glad I ran into you. It's great to meet you. Here's a couple Moxstars stickers if you want to get in touch or whatever. And then they're like, yeah, just hit us up on the Discord. And so we actually coordinated for games on Sunday, which was cool. But Friday kind of went out like that. We just kind of experienced what the convention had to offer.
It was also most of our networking for the day, or for the whole convention was mostly that day, and
right.
Mostly at least scheduled wise. So it was also very exhausting. Like we were going like nonstop. When we did our table, like it was talking to people for an hour straight, like without breathing.
Yeah, we handed out like 200 business cards.
Yeah.
And like we had to be very forward with it. We didn't realize that the window of opportunity was going to be so small. But hopefully, the people that are now listening to the show for the first time thought we did a good job.
Yo, what up? Okay. After that, we did a bunch of Vegas-y stuff on Friday, right? What did we do? We went out
Tacos
Tacos El
Gordo. Put some
freaking
respect on the name.
Gordo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's nothing but respect on the name. That is such a delicious restaurant. My life was changed after it, and we tried to go back, I think, 2 or 3 times this weekend.
If you go there, get the cabeza taco. It rocks your world. And then we went out for went to Tacos El Gordo. We had drinks somewhere. I can't remember. But we just kind of lived Vegas life for
Vegas
the
life,
night.
got drunk, went to bed.
Yep, exactly. Didn't stay up all night. Went to bed responsibly. We knew we'd have to be up early the next morning. Got up Saturday. Let me explain to you, this is literally the greatest day of my life so far.
Yep. Evan is...
It's going to be a long-winded story, and you're going to be like, wow, that is your greatest day of your life.
I've never seen him
sad.
so relaxed.
Yeah. Early in the morning, I got up before everybody else because, as you know, if you've listened to the show before, all I wanted to do in Vegas was find a hot tub. It was the only thing on my list. And the Encore just so happens to have a hot tub. But it's behind a paywall. You have to pay like $100 and something to get through, so you can actually get into this, the spa sauna area.
This is how
you also have to be a guest of the hotel.
Yep,
also that.
Be a guest of the hotel.
This is how much of a dorks we are, by the way. As you said, it's behind a paywall.
Yeah, right.
It's like everything is a video game.
There was a wall.
Hotel DLC.
There was a wall, and there was someone standing there, and I had to pay them to get past it.
IRL paywall.
So I get ready, go down there, pay my fee, go through the door, and they're like, there are no cellular devices allowed beyond this point. So you have to put your stuff in a locker. You change into the robe and everything, and the sandals they give you and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful and relaxing. There's whale noises and bird song and coffee. The best coffee in Las Vegas existed at that spot.
I will say the readily available coffee. I've been told there's some good coffee spots. The readily available coffee was very depressing.
It was lacking. And even when we came back from Vegas, the women that we work with, we were like, so there's no good coffee in Vegas. And they're like, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I know.
So I went through my first cycle of this whole thing, which is like steam room, dry sauna, and then you go and you go to the cool tub, and you hang out there for a bit. You sit in the hot tub, and then you dip into like the ice tub, and after that you shower and you go hang out in the lounge for a little bit until you're ready for round 2. So I get through my first cycle, and I'm going out to the lounge to go get another cup of coffee and relax a little bit. And I walk out and I look, and there's a guy just hanging out in this chair, and I look at him and I say, you look a lot like Chris Pine. And he goes, that's because I am Chris Pine. And I said, cool. And I just kept on walking. And I was like, oh my God. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, I met Chris Pine. My dad's a huge Star Trek fan. Oh my God, he would kill for a photo right now. But you just don't.
So
You don't do that to people.
2 days in a row, you met a celebrity.
Yeah. On this entire trip, I met 2 totally famous people.
I mean, you also met Mitch and Cam. You're just not going to throw them in there or what?
Oh, Dylan and Cam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've called them Mitch and Cam for all weekend, bro, and I don't know why.
Is that Modern Family?
I will cut that out.
No, don't cut it out. It is Modern Family. Oh my God.
Dylan and Cam.
Sabina and I watched a lot of Modern Family the last couple of weeks. That's so funny, bro. Oh, Mitch and Cam.
All right.
That's fucking awesome.
I finish up my spa routine, which, by the way, when you go into one of those things, you blink, time just disappears. All of a sudden, it's like, you got to get out of your freaking hotel room. So I ran and got a bagel real quick. Spiegel's Bagel Mania. Crazy cool spot.
Yeah, I said I didn't get to go there.
Ritter, you guys went there like 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah, it's a banger. I brought home a bunch of the egg bagels. I've had one for breakfast every day this week.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have one of those. You let me have one of those because I was very hungover.
Oh, yeah. So great spot there. We get back to the hotel. We are moving from the Encore to the Residence Inn, closer to the convention center. And after we did all that, and then we went over to the convention after that. And let's see, what happened to the convention that day? I know that Jordan, you'd felt like you'd done a lot already, but there was the Gavin Verhey.
Yeah, pretty much. That was the day we really didn't have any plans until 5 p.m. that day. So that was the day, actually, I didn't go right to the convention or anything like that. So you went out and did some stuff, but I had freshly made a ton of freaking money the day before, so I was itching to burn it. I don't know if you guys have known, but I've been talking about Pokemon a wee bit. It's something I've been getting a little back into.
He's diversifying.
So the day before, or on Thursday rather, I had a ton of time to kill, like 6 hours to kill before Evan got there. And then it was like another hour until Ritter and Denise got there. Sorry, D-Rock. And so pretty much, I know I said I spent about $200 in lifts. It's because Vegas is not a very walkable town. Yeah. And I was like, I had heard about all these awesome like LGSs and collecting stores, collectibles, all that stuff. And I was like, well, what a great just time to be an absolute nerd and go around. So I went around and had scoped out all these stores, like shout out 888 Collectibles, freaking awesome store. No Magic cards, but they had tons of other stuff.
We met up with Kyle and went there on Friday night, right?
Yeah. I had showed him that, and that was pretty sick. And then Kyle recommended Dark Side Games. That was a sweet spot. They have like Pokemon and Magic and stuff like that. So there's a few others. And then I ended up going back during that time frame, showing, because thank God we met up with Kyle and his brother Marshall. Yep. Marshall has a car, so I didn't have to keep paying for lifts. Thank God.
Thank you, Marshall.
So yeah, we ended up going back to these spots, and I dropped a bunch of cash. I was gonna say a little cash. I've dropped a lot of cash. Bought myself tons of like graded Pokemon cards, trying to collect that base set, and then
because you have a new goal now, right?
Yeah, trying to collect the first base set of Pokemon, and then who knows where we go from there.
Nice.
But yeah,
so many shiny things in the Pokemon world.
It's so true. Yeah, I ended up buying a bunch of sealed products too, because Japanese boosters are going really hot right now, by the way.
Yeah.
So I bought a ton of those, we all went back to the hotel room that night, and we just like cracked open packs. Like even like D-Rock was like, you want to get in on this? And like she'd never opened a pack before, and she loved it. And like Ritter, like Pokemon wasn't really part of your thing, like growing up, so there wasn't really like that nostalgia factor for you. But it ended up being like awesome.
You hadn't quite cracked into your pool of luck yet for ripping Pokemon packs, and you definitely cashed in.
Yeah, I used it all in Jordan, unfortunately.
Yeah, we had pulled some crazy stuff too. That was like a lot of fun. So that was super cool. That was a good point. Yeah, so pretty much that first half of the Saturday, which is me just like balling out around town, doing exactly what I always fantasize about doing, and just going to the stores that have cool collections, being like, "Yeah, I'll give you some cash for that."
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
your wallet was fat. You said you couldn't even close it.
I couldn't even close it. It was so satisfying. I can close it now. I spent a lot of it. So then we all met up.
Yeah, and let's just remind everybody, this is a Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper podcast, so let's get back to it.
Let's talk about Magic. It's a fine game.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I cruised right over it.
I will say that at our display table for the meet and greet, we had 2 pyramids of Dr. Pepper, where that was like, people were moth to the flame for just Dr. Pepper.
It's funny because Diana came over and she's like, you can't have that here. Like, we don't have that where we have sponsors of other things, and you can't give this out to people. And it's like, oh, we're not giving this out to people. This is fully part of our branding for our podcast. And this is like signage. And she's like, oh, okay, proceed.
Yep. She's like, as long as you don't give them away or sell them. And we're like, fine. As soon as we were off the table and out of her jurisdiction, we're like, can we give these away? And she's like, do whatever you want. I
was just handing them out to everybody.
Yeah. But Saturday comes back around. Jordan is exploring the town, comes back to the convention just in time for the Gavin Verhey unknown event, right? Sponsored by Extra Life.
Yeah, pretty tired already at this point.
Yep. So we hadn't eaten anything either.
That was the thing. Yeah, we just ran out of time.
It's just like you get so busy, you blink, and all of a sudden it's 5 p.m. and you haven't eaten anything because the convention doesn't have windows. Like,
true.
There's no clocks on the walls, kind of like a casino. And so you kind of get lost in it a little bit. We start the event, and they do this super cool introduction. They had people from Extra Life walking around, and they were giving away exclusive enamel pins with Talion on them if you made a $25 donation. And it was probably the easiest donation that I've ever made in my life. It was just like, wow, that's a super cool pin. You guys are a great cause. Here's $25.
And for the people that don't know what the Unknown event is, essentially Gavin Verhey himself, the head designer of Magic the Gathering, and also we have a gameplay video with him on our YouTube.
You can check it out.
He designs playtest cards just like he does with all the sets, right? And like how they test it out is they literally print them out on a little sticker and stick it on a planes or whatever.
Yep.
So he essentially designed 10 new playtest cards for this one singular draft set environment. And then he gave us 3 packs of Commander Masters, 3 packs of Eldraine.
Yep, and then we got 2 packs of playtest cards that were like a mix of all of the other playtest cards they've sponsored, because this is the 3rd Unknown event that they've ever hosted.
Yeah, so 1 pack was stuff that like reprints or whatever have you of other events, and then 10 fresh with brand new ones.
Yep.
Plus, they had this event the day before where they actually had crowd participation, and they created one live, like on the spot, and then had them all made that morning so that we could have them for the draft that day. Everybody got one of those, and that was really cool. So those are really cool to look at. And I was actually sitting across from a guy, and I was like, I feel kind of bad because I'm probably gonna just take my cards and leave because I'm so hungry and I don't want to do drafting for 4 hours before we go to Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
And he was literally just a collector there doing the same thing. He's like, actually, if I played 2 games of Magic in the last 5-10 years, I'm here for the cards.
Yeah.
He showed me his collection, dude. It was crazy. He collects all the weird kind of stuff, not the pretty foils that we're into, more or less all the oddball stuff. So obviously the playtest cards, he had some of the OG pre alpha set playtest cards that we had seen upstairs.
I saw some guys literally just walking around with clutches of slabs, like they're just there to collect slabs.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So some of the vendor stuff was crazy. The coolest thing.
Well, speaking of which, Jordan, you got an artist proof signed.
Yeah, I did. I ended up getting. So I found the guy. Oh God, I need to find his name. The guy who did Displacer Kitten, he was a super nice guy. And so not only did I get my borderless foil Displacer Kitten signed, I picked up a borderless foil artist proof Displacer Kitten.
And got that signed.
2 for 2, double dipping. By the way, his name is Campbell White. Shout out to him. He's a mega chiller. Also, he made he made the art for one of the greatest cards ever.
Yeah.
I love this card. Obsessed with it. So I was happy to pick it up.
We also got to see Tyler Jacobson again, a god amongst men.
100%. I wanted to see Chris Ron, but holy God, there was a queue for his line. That means there's a line for the line. That's how popular he was.
Yep. Every day they had security with line capped, signs that said line capped. And they would stand there and be like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Try again some other time. Nope.
If you want his autograph or Richard Kane Ferguson, definitely plan on getting there early.
Yeah, the Richard Kane Ferguson line was crazy. Even so, they had the Artist Alley, and then further beyond, they had more vendors. But then they also had the Game Nights booth there too, and the line for that was insane.
Really,
I got to see Josh and Jimmy, and just not standing in line. I stood next to the booth, and I basically was right in Jimmy's face, and I was like, "What's up?" And he's like,
"Hey,
yeah." And that's it. It's a lot of people, a lot of Magic celebrities there. The Artist Alley was super cool, though. After we did the Gavin Verhey Unknown event, it was...
And by that, you mean we took the cards and left?
Yeah. We got I got a white Rhystic Study, which was literally white Rhystic Study.
Is what it's called.
The same ability.
Yeah.
Enchantment, 2 and a white. A couple other cards, my Commanders, because if you had monocolors, you could do partners, kind of like the Commander Legend.
Yeah, it was a Commander draft environment, which...
Commander Masters.
Side tangent, and we were talking about this. I think we should ditch this whole Commander draft thing that doesn't really exist, and if we're going to push it forward, I think we should call it Brawl.
It is Brawl.
Brawl draft.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Brawl is, right?
It's literally oh, let me just tell you all of these weird house mechanics. It was oh, you mean Brawl?
No, you wanted to create a format. You did, in a way, half-assed, and then abandoned it, and now have basically had it all along ever since Commander Legends came out. But it's if you're going to draft Commander, it is Brawl. I think that's just a great blanket statement.
Yeah, I don't know. Brawl draft.
Good point.
Brawl draft, Brawl limited Brawl. Something like that.
Yeah, you could do sealed. You could do limited, Brawl limited, sealed, or draft.
Yeah, I think that'd be it. And then I think honestly, just having that naming convention maybe makes it even more of a viable thing that we could push for.
Yeah,
instead of this weird ambiguity.
Totally. Well, we spent the last few episodes hyping up an event.
Oh, yes.
Hyping
It's that
it up
time.
so much. We wanted to get our faces melted off.
I was going to say we didn't, but we did.
We did. We got
there.
Yes.
We were ready for Elijah Wood rave setting, right? And we just went there and we were ready to turn up. And we came ready, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. We just came in with the energy. Like, I think it's called the Slumber Party, and the event space is big, and it's really hard to create like a rave setting inside of a massive convention hall. So what they did was made it literally just like a dance party. I think that we maybe had a different idea in our mind.
Yeah, so it ended up being like 80s dance party vibes. So like everything was on 45 vinyls. So he went full 80s. He went 80s kid style, and it ended up being such a vibe too. Like it took like 2 songs, and we were like, all right, this is actually pretty lit.
Yeah, we got in line for drinks, and we're
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. Whoever was like serving was just like having a conversation with every person who came up to the front.
There's 4 million people in line.
We stood in line for 45 minutes before we decided to like ditch that line and go do something else. So then we get into the crowd of people, and if we just got up to the front really quick, we just sort of like dug our way through, and we were like 3 people from the front. And if you were up near the front, you probably had a moment with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, I mean, like it was like you could be like, "Hey, Elijah,"
he
would
look at you. Like that was funny, is because when we first got up there, I was like in this. I was in a pretty crazy fit. I had dynamite like motocross pants on, crop top, backwards hat, sunglasses, and weightlifting gloves. And he watched me like get into wherever we're hanging out, and he just shook his head at me. He's just like, "What is going on?" And I was just like, and I gave him like the rocker symbol.
Yeah, I mean, once we got there, we like, it was like a quiet, like kind of like nerd vibe, I feel like, and then we started screaming. When we got there, we were just like, "Elijah, I love you. You're the best. You're the best." And like he started looking. He was so coy and like
very humble
about it. He would like look over and then like look away, and he was like smiling, and he was like, "Oh, I have fans."
Their DJ set is called Wooden Wisdom.
Yeah, because it was him and Zach Cowie, right? Which Ritter, you said he is a dude who does things.
Yeah, he has also done some acting, but he's done like music supervisor stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, he seemed like a chiller too, and they put on a really good set.
Yeah, and they were just like having such a good time. There were people in the crowd. Yeah, there were people in the crowd who made magic cards of Wooden Wisdom, like of both of Zach and Elijah. And then they read the effect of the card, and it was actually really creative. Like
I think it was a wizard. I think it was a Wizards made card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like fan.
Like how they different like Post Malone and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It was a special thing.
Well, it was super cool regardless. And then this is when the crowd just kind of like lost their minds. They had the original 45 for the Super Mario Brothers theme song. So they popped it on, and then everybody just kind of just like screaming, cheering, stuff like that.
He was like, why?
Yeah. And then he's holding up, and then so just to like prove it, he holds up the original like case or like the sleeve for the 45.
Yeah, it was just like he could not believe the reaction it got, and then he was like, tries to test it and then holds up the sleeve, and the crowd goes even wilder.
Yep. Anytime he gestured at the crowd went, woo!
Yeah, he just was not expecting that at all. My goal, and I told Evan when we got there, I was like, I'm going to get to give me a heart. And halfway through that show, I saw my opportunity. I threw up a heart, and he threw up a heart too. It was sick.
Yeah, and then Jordan looks at me, and he punches me right in the chest. Yeah. And he goes, I did it, dude!
I shoved him into a person and screamed. My throat started feeling better this morning.
Yeah, so ultimately, we got our faces melted off, had a great time, and there was one cosplay at this event that was probably
oh my god,
not to like diminish the other cosplay folks out there, but it was
just how funny it was.
Yeah, it was Mother Goose from Wilds of Eldraine, but it was a group of people who are all in white satin like pajamas, right? Like silk pajamas, and they all had goose heads on.
Yeah,
and
like
so
a full hat that looks like a goose.
Yeah, like tall too.
Yeah, very tall.
It was like 6 people, something like that, and they did not separate from each other the entire time.
Bro, it was awesome. And so like we were in line at getting drinks for him, and the people coming up getting pictures. So like
we had to like basically back away.
They had all these like awesome poses and stuff that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, but once you saw them like get on the dance floor and they're just like raging and stuff like that, it was so funny. Like,
Yep.
oh, yeah, Elijah Wood had to like take a picture. He stopped the show and he's just like, I gotta know, like, what is up with the goo stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I don't run a Magic convention. I just don't understand what's happening.
Get educated, Elijah. It's a card.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a lot of fun.
X blue green legendary creature.
And then right after that, we went right next door.
Yeah.
And there was a freaking awesome karaoke sesh.
Yeah, Jordan and Chris gave me the courage to go ask Z what was going on after the show, and they were like, "Well, there's karaoke happening right next door, so you should probably come to that." And I felt like, "Oh, thank you for the invite. Thank you so much."
I hate you so much. Yeah, so it was. I gotta say, it was like the best karaoke sesh, like potentially ever
in my life.
Like it was actually crazy.
Very wholesome. Definitely a group of people with a common taste.
Yeah, I think that's what you were kind of saying about the whole weekend, Chris, and I totally agree. It's just like the whole weekend was just incredibly wholesome. Every single person we met was like amazing, nice, great vibes across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in situations like this, right, where like everybody's karaokeing, it was super supportive. It was like very fun. It ended up becoming like on the big songs, you know, they were, you know, hitting like everybody's roughly the same age group. So throwing out like the Fall Out Boy, like those early 2000s emo songs, when that started coming on,
My Chemical Romance.
bro, yeah, Black Parade and all that shit, like everybody just went ape shit. It was crazy. It was the entire room, and like half the people are in cosplay, so it was just a wild experience.
People were up on tables, and
Yeah.
there was just one point where like I forgot what her name was, but like she took over with the My Chemical Romance and just got the whole room. I think that's when everybody in the room knew they were watching something special. That's like this was like going to be one of the greatest karaoke sessions
like
of all time.
Some of these people actually had like pipes, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So you went to put in a song, and a guy stole your song.
Yes.
What was the song?
I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yeah.
By The Darkness.
Which sucks, but I will say that person murked that song. It was so good. Hit every high note. Hit the freaking chair slide. Oh, and then we just ended up with Bohemian Rhapsody, which is beautiful. It was a beautiful time.
Yeah, no, it was so great. I think they're like, what happened was we started with the Chemical Romance, My Chemical Romance, and we were just jamming. We were dancing so hard. Jordan has a GoPro. We're probably going to be able to have footage of that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And like, we were jamming so hard, and eventually, like, I let go of all inhibition, and someone just like comes up to me and shoves me from behind, and I stop for a sec and I look at them, and then I just keep continuing dancing, and then they shove me again, and they're like, "Get up there! What are you doing? Get on stage!" And so like I just went up there and I started jamming, just like letting go, and that's when I got lost in it. I just like fully immersed myself, and there were times when someone had put in a song and there were like 80 songs queued up, and you're not going to get through 80 songs in the course of the night, especially when they're like looking to shut down at like midnight. So
it was like 2 a.m., but
yeah, if a song got like abandoned or someone didn't actually like step up for it, anybody could run up on stage and take the song from them. So when it happened, most people just went up there in a group and they would take over for it. But as soon as they said, so we've got a Backstreet Boys song up next, but it doesn't look like the person is here. Does anybody want to take it? And I put out my wings and I flew up on stage like an airplane. And
like a peacock.
Yep, and 5 others did there as well. I was a peacock. They let me fly on this one.
It was referencing the other guys.
Yeah, totally.
Peacock, you gotta let me fly.
They let me fly. And I apparently I didn't know this, but it's like subconsciously burned into my brain. I know all of the choreography for I Want It That Way. I don't know how I know.
You were for sure the only one out there doing the actual choreography.
You're just dissing everybody else. Like they don't even know. They're not even doing the scene right.
I know. And so I just took over. I was just singing, belting, and it was so much fun to do. And I think there are just very few moments in life, and hopefully I can say this and it sounds authentic because the moment was so authentic. There are very few moments in life where you feel seen, right? Where you're seen for who you truly are. And I think that just letting go of everything and really getting lost in that moment. The community was so awesome that I felt seen. Like, it was such a cool moment. And I think that's why partially this was such a great day, was it all led up to all these awesome moments. And we just had such a good time with the people the community we had just kind of met.
Yeah, Spa, Chris Pine, Elijah Wood, karaoke.
Yeah.
Pretty solid day.
Yeah, it was amazing. After that, we got to do something really cool. Now, this is something that not everybody knows about. I was sort of wary about talking about it and know how secret it was. But if you know about it, you know about it. We're not going to blow up the spot where it happens, but we were done with karaoke after we belted Bohemian Rhapsody. We were chatting with some of the people outside, and we were like, we're not sleeping tonight. Where's the next thing? And they said, well, so-and-so is meeting over here. And so you can go hang out there. And we were like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. So D-Rock knew exactly where they were talking about, and she led the way. And
that's just meta now. That's fully canon.
Yep. D-Rock is it. You let Denise know. I mean, you let D-Rock know. All right, Ritter?
What's up?
I was just saying, you let D-Rock know that nickname is now canon.
It's locked in.
She'll love it.
It's come about 6 times at this point.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
D-Rock leads us over there. We go into the lobby, and we have no idea what's going on, but comedian Z, Marcus. We know Marcus from like Laughing Dragon.
All
Anthony was there.
Homies.
Yeah. But then, gosh, who else was there? All these content creators we've looked up to, like the people that have inspired us to want to create content. We're all there. And it was so cool. And then, so we get there and we're like, what is going on? Oh my God, Marcus, what's up, dude? And they're jamming games. And so I'm like, do we need to go get like decks right now? Are we going to be able to jam games with these guys? And so we had inadvertently discovered LobbyCon. So it's after the convention closes down, after everyone's like done doing their stuff, they all gather and have a little convention of their own where they do what they love the most and play Magic. So we hung out there for like a few hours, and just it was so freaking cool to rub shoulders with Rebel Sun, with Comedian, with Z, with again, it's just like
you're so starstruck from this whole weekend.
I was, yeah. I mean, I didn't know what to expect going into the weekend. Like, I knew that I was excited for it. I'm excited for the next one, even more so. I'm ready to like budget for going to Barcelona, because these Magic conventions are really something else. And if you're listening to this and you haven't gone to one, you should definitely look at going to one, because it's really an unreal experience.
Yeah, especially if you're worried about going alone and stuff like that. Honestly, you did too. Both of us sat next to people on the plane going to MagicCon, and we fully just had conversations and met, and like we're chill with these people by the time we left.
There were so many people there that like were rolling solo.
100%. It is so easy to do. Like, you just can talk to anybody, and they had a fully set up for Commander. There was hundreds of tables, and they had signs for like looking for casual, either competitive, whatever.
Yeah.
Every single one of those tables on Saturday was full. We had some free time. We could not even find a table.
Saturday was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and there was tons of people playing games on like the free-to-play area, because there's plenty of tables there. And like Chris, he brought his new deck. I think we can finally talk about it. Not even a new deck, his new format. Chris, do you want to intro this a little bit?
No, we'll save that for another time.
You want to save it for a little bit? All right, fair enough. Well, we started play testing something that Chris has been working on.
So hyped.
And it drew some eyes. So yeah, like literally just hanging out and having a good time. Like, you can totally meet tons of people and, meet new friends. So don't feel like you can't go to any of these conventions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity to get more involved with the community. If you love Magic, and even if you don't feel like your entire community around you is invested as you are, you're going to find people of all like different degrees of investment or passion or whatever at these conventions. So it's a great opportunity to, like make new connections, meet new friends, people across the country. Like you can go visit and play games with, through Spell Table or whatever. So there's tons of opportunity just going to these things. You're going to see cards that you'd never think you'd ever see in your life. Like we saw the playtest card for Mox. What was it?
Mox Pearl.
Mox Pearl.
Like from the OG before the first set ever came out. It was graded.
Yeah,
And
graded 2 in existence.
the dude said they know of 2 in existence. They have that one, and Richard Garfield has the other one.
Yeah. So you're going to see some really cool like everything's related to Magic when you go to these things.
They also had some cool Pokemon stuff. They had the OG base set.
Yeah. And those cloaked or the
dude, they had
Pikachus.
all the Pikachu ponchos, Gem Mint 10. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so much money. It's actually insane.
Yeah. But you guys have anything else you want to share about MagicCon?
Nah, I mean, you got to do some stuff on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Sunday is.
I took off
also-
early because I had a plane trip, but
Yeah, Sunday is also a day the convention happened. I was messaging Dylan and Cam on their Discord server, just kind of figuring out where they're going to be. And so in the morning, I got up, got ready, took a shower, went to MagicCon. I don't know why I said I took a shower. You guys didn't need to know that, but I said it.
what else did you do?
I got there.
No, before that.
Oh,
After the shower.
I got dressed.
Okay.
And then I packed my bag with my commander deck.
Okay.
I put my creator badge on.
All right, this is fruit. Let's move on.
Okay. Anyway, got there and I'm like, I run into Dylan and Cam almost immediately, and I had already gotten coffee, so I'm like standing there. I'm like, oh, Dylan and Cam, I was messaging on your Discord server. What's up? Are you guys looking to jam games? And they're like, yeah. Once the space opens up at 10, it was like 9:45, and so I was like, cool. And then I stood there very awkwardly, and I put my arms out, and then went and I smiled at them. And I was like, cool. And then I just stepped in line with where they were standing. And then I was just so nervous because, I've watched everything that they've ever made. So I was very clearly starstruck. And then we're talking a little bit, but I asked them what decks they brought and stuff like that. And then they go, you know what? We're actually going to go get some coffee. And they look at each other, and then they look at me and they nod and they go, yep, we're going to get some coffee. We'll see you in there. And I was like, cool. And then I went, fuck, I was so weird. Why do I have to be so weird? And I run into Landon. Yeah,
You should have just went with him. Tried to hold his hand.
Yeah. And so I run into Landon, and I was just like, Landon, he's like, you guys gotta be exhausted. And I'm like, yeah, that's one thing. But
Yeah, we'll blame it on that. We'll blame it on that.
I was like, but it's also another thing that I was just super fucking weird to Dylan and Cam. So we're just gonna let that one slide, and then I'll go find them for a game.
I shouldn't have left you alone.
No.
I should have pushed back my flight.
Yeah. It would have been great to have someone there. Anyway, the area opens up, and I go over to the content creator area where they said they were going to be, and I run into them. They see me. They're like, oh, fuck, this guy's a weirdo. And then I go, are you guys looking for a game? And then they're like, yeah, let's sit down. We sit down, jam some games, and I loosen up a little bit more coffee in my system, and I'm less weird. But Hire joins us as well at the table. So I'm on Schlein Halar. Hire is on Turgrid. Cam is on Nimrus. And Dylan, I think, was on Bloodpod. I can't remember exactly what Dylan was on. But we had a really great game. It was super interactive. But once I sat down, a line of like 20 people formed behind me. There was like no way I was going to get a game with them if it wasn't like the first one, which is why I was like trying to, Biden them. I was trying to like
Biden, always be there, always be behind their shoulder.
Yeah. So I was trying to be Joe Biden and always be there.
Perfect.
And
Worked out.
Yep, and it worked out. Got to jam a game, gave him some Moxstars stickers, and have been in touch with them ever since. Just that had some really great moments. Got some pictures with them. You can check them out on our Instagram if you want. After that, I scoured the convention for a few more things. I ended up at the Wizards of the Barge booth.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
They had their drop today. their big
Oh,
Magic
nice.
drop.
Yeah, check them out. Wizards of the
Ooh.
Barge. If you haven't seen them, their stuff is awesome. They started doing some secret layers for Magic, and their fun, cartoonish style really fits well, I think.
Yeah.
I will say, out of all of the vendors, which there was many, and all of the merch, which there was some,
And not a lot.
in the artist gallery area, Wizards of Barge had by far the best merch. Like the dad hats, the embroidered dad hats are sick, like popping with color. We got graphic tees that are gorgeous. They had awesome shorts. New, he was hyping up new stuff that Chris is talking about. They just had a drop today. Go check them out on Instagram because oh my god, their stuff is so cool.
Yep, you can actually shop right through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Go pick up some good sheet.
yeah, they have goblin mode shorts on there.
Yeah, those are sick. I want to get
those
some
are
of
so
those.
cool. But so I wound up there. I was just looking around for like a few people because my flight was also like coming up. So I just wanted to like say hi or bye or hey, it was great to meet you. Hey, here's my phone number. This is how you reach out to me. Call me sometime, anything like that. And yeah, the convention kind of went really well. It was so much fun to like, yeah, be a part of that whole thing. But that was pretty much what happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
Had games with Dylan and Cam, got some photos, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the move in the future, if I can swing it, is always get Monday off because like being able conventions always go through the Sunday, right? So like actually being able to like travel on Monday and then finish the con through. Never been able to do that before, so I'll try and do that next year.
Yeah, and another, just to reiterate, the biggest lesson we learned about the convention is that if you go and you want to do any trading, any merch buying, and you like want to get great deals or get the merch you want, do it on Friday. Do it as early as possible. As soon as the doors open, go get your merch. At least scour the convention to find what you might want. Because prices don't get better as the convention goes on. Stock does not last forever. If something is popular, like we saw these like lime green or electric green and electric pink goblin balaclavas from Wizards of Barge, and we were like, where
Awesome
did you
products.
get those? And so as soon as we went up to the booth to go get our own, they'd already sold out.
Yep.
So if you see something, it might be too late. Just go up there, make your purchases early. Get your stuff.
I will say I wish I picked up that confetti foil Ristic study, the anime one,
Oh, yeah.
because I saw it available for $350, spiked to $550.
Woo!
That is a lot to pay for a card that you already own.
True.
Yep.
But do you have the Weeb version?
Yeah, and Ritter, you missed out on a card you were looking for, right?
Yeah, one of the what is it, Game Master, the Wizards of the Coast game in Japan, Game Master Black Lotus for like $30. Could have gotten it signed, but
Is it also
yeah,
called
is
Black
what it
Lotus?
is. What's up?
Is it also still called Black Lotus?
Yeah, it's also still Black Lotus.
Wow.
Same artwork.
And so this is just like a different game that they created a long time ago that didn't take off, or what?
It was a Japan-only game, and I don't know how long it went for, but yeah, there's like other versions of, there's like, I think you can get your Jace, the Mind Sculptor, you can get your Lightning Bolt, you
Wow.
can get all sorts of like analogous Magic cards in this game.
But they're not actually Magic cards. Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
picking up a Black Lotus of that for, you said it was like $30?
$30.
Yeah, that's
Foil
awesome.
Black Lotus. Come on.
Come on. I mean, like, I if you play your fucking deck, I'd be like, that's sick.
That's one way to get around the reserve list,
Play
right?
4 of those and
Make a
Legacy.
separate game.
You can't play 4 of them, but
Yeah.
your Legacy deck has foil or Black Lotuses.
Anyway, I think we're winding down here at the Moxstars podcast.
We're tired.
Yeah, we're tired. We're still
was a
recovering
crazy
from the
weekend.
convention, still unpacking, still sort of like adjusting to normal life.
Evan's still processing.
Oh my God. I am still processing. Someone looked at me a certain way, and I've never been looked like that my entire life. I'm still processing that.
Don't even know what
Anyway.
that means.
You're talking about Tyler Jacobson,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
yes, I am. Yes,
Got
I
him
am.
on.
I gave him a Dr. Pepper and a can cap, and we're best friends now. So,
He's definitely a pepperhead at this point.
and if you don't know what a pepperhead is, you can find out by joining our Discord. And you can join our Patreon, where we have a $3 tier available. And that tier is called the Pepperhead tier, where when you do so and you connect your Discord to the Patreon, your name on Discord turns Dr. Pepper red, and you get access to 2 exclusive channels. One being the Dr. Pepper channel that has all of the lore of the Moxstars, and the history and product list of Dr. Pepper, and we just profess our love for Dr. Pepper all over that channel. And you also get access to the Shower Thoughts channel, which moving forward, we want to be more of a community driven content experience. So when you sign up and support the show through Patreon, you get access to the Shower Thoughts channel where you can just provoke conversation. And we want to be able to take time out of every episode and address those conversations and sort of like open up the floor to those things. So we want to discuss those openly and just kind of give you guys our thoughts on the questions that you have.
Yeah, hit up the Shower Thoughts thread if you guys ever want to pitch questions or just have random little ideas. It sparks a big old conversation, and that's really where we pull a lot of inspiration from.
Totally. If you want to support the show, you can do so by subscribing to us on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe and hit that bell for more notifications. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms. And like I said, join the Discord because we're popping off in there. And the community has been growing steadily and has been just like becoming more and more interactive in brew buddies, in real life events. We're talking about more tournaments. We're talking about streaming more tournaments. So,
also, we're going to throw in a little Pokemon, little side chat. So
yes, we're working.
If you want to say what's up.
Yeah, we're working on adjusting the server so that we have more statistics-oriented channels and we have some more diverse like TCGs and stuff like that, so that if you are passionate about those things, you can also find conversation and find common ground with others there.
If you're also looking for gameplay videos, we are working on more. We dropped one right before we left with Gavin freaking Verhey. Yeah, that's kind of a banger to start with. And we are following up with more coming very freaking soon.
Nope, we just recorded another one last night. So if you want to be a patron, first shout out to Tordeath, Usable Object, Claire, and K Morrow, Kyle, for being our supporters. You can jump on there, and we've been hitting up the Shower Thoughts channel for people who want to be involved with gameplay videos. So if you want to be on a gameplay video with us, you know where to do it.
Boom.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We hope you guys enjoyed our stories about Las Vegas and MagicCon, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.